Well, Talita has won this competition twice before with Larissa Franke, looking to win it for a third time. Great dig to get this one underway. Just sitting in the power line is Taiana. And it's one thing making defensive plays, it's another thing transferring that into a kill. What a start for Brazil. Brazilian side have lost one game this week to Marta Menengati and Toria Orsitud. Then they got revenge later on in the competition in the quarterfinals. Switzerland off the mark with Vergé-Depré. Defender from Bern, 10 seasons on the FIVB World Tour serving. Taiana with a little double look, but the blocking of Heidrich is strong with the outside hand. Vergé-Depré just sits in the seam. So far, so good for Switzerland. And for the Swiss, two very strong players diving back into the line. Heidrich says, how about that one? It's Vergé-Depré with the kill. Heidrich at 6'3", Vergé-Depré at 6'1". They won't make as many digs as other teams at times, but when they do, watch out. It will be converted. Serve straight to the line. Taiana again, double check, this time off the hands of Heidrich. Maybe that's something they're going to target as this game develops through. The most experienced player to ever play the game on the World Tour serving. Chasing it. Back to the angle, full stretch work. It's delightful. Oh, the backspin knuckle! Oohs and ahs from the Russians. It's one thing making that dig, but to get back up, have a little look, and then go away from the body with the knuckle, seeing everything, Taiana. This Brazilian pairing took a fourth at Vienna. Maybe the most iconic competition of the season on the World Tour. Maybe one of the most iconic players to ever play the game. Talita on absolute flames here. This is the first Final Four in World Tour history where all teams are seeded outside of the top 10. There's also a few teams missing. Pavin and Melissa, the world champions from Canada, playing in the Manhattan Beach Open, as is April Ross-Knights-Hyman, silver medalists from that same competition. 4-all. The Luzhniki Stadium, home to the UEFA Champions League final in 2008, World Cup final 2018, and the women's gold medal match today. Once again, sharp feet to attack left-hand side of the ball, and that allows her to either shape it to the line or to the angle. Frustration for Heidrich. Out of system here, Switzerland. Chance to really have to get the feet to the ball. Ball's dropping inside. This is the first Final Four for Switzerland since Nina Beschart, Tanja Hübeli made the final in Gstaad just over a month ago. Swiss volleyball in very good hands at the moment. Beschart, Hübeli, 2 top 4s in a row. But for this Swiss team, 17th in Vienna, 17th in Espinho, 17th in Gstaad, and the 9th at the World Championships. The Final Four in the European Championships last week has really got the engine revving. And they are now the Swiss team in form at the end of the season. Heidrich smiling. to Heidrich. You can see that coming from a mile away. A, they're looking for a touch, but B, the ball absolutely dipped in. Hit the sideline. Swiss pairing playing together since 2017. It's the 26th World Tour tournament together. Heidrich playing in a 10th Final Four. So is Vergé-Depré. Slightly different figures when you look at the Brazilians who put another ball away. Taiana in her 22nd World Tour Final Four. Talita, currently blocking for Brazil. 88 Final Fours, 33 golds, 17 silvers, 17 bronze medals. Although she's not the most decorated player in this Final Four, Kerry Walsh-Jennings just taking the bronze with almost 100 Final Fours in this game. Deep on Talita, breaking the block. Nobody likes playing defense above their head. Fact. Taiana Heidrich, whose brother also played this week for Switzerland. Heidrich playing with Mirko Gerson, taking a 9th. Vergé-Depré, whose sister Zoe also played this week in the qualifier. Just bangs that one straight into the sandpit. Switzerland lead by 1. Short serving. Struggle here for Brazil, having to get out, but it doesn't look that difficult. I can assure you it's a little bit more difficult than Taiana actually made that look, to get served short. Take 3 or 4 steps off the net. Credit to the setting of Talita. Brazil, wizards when it comes to ball control. Off the net, Vergé-Depré. Maybe the control of the ball from Switzerland isn't quite as clean, but they're physical. They batter that ball. Thunderous serving from Switzerland. You'd think this is a way to play the game for Brazil here. Vergé-Depré actually used to be a blocker with her former partner, now playing as a defender. As mentioned before, 6-1. If Brazil just chip around the block, make her have to really work to play defense, they might be successful, as they might be if they fire up behind the baseline. First technical timeout, it's Brazil, just by 1. Nothing between the two so far. Maybe a look at how the game is going. Switzerland with 2 big side-out players playing together. For Talita, she's currently 5th in the International Women's Career Individual Victory Leaders, meaning that she has won 34 times on the World Tour. Kerry Walsh-Jennings, who took the bronze today with 56 and 2nd. Larissa Franca still leading the way with 62. You'd think that Kerry Walsh-Jennings is a tough test to try and beat Larissa Franca, but this is all about Talita Antunez's monster block. Talita and Larissa, 4th on the greatest teams of all time in World Tour Volleyball. Point for Switzerland though. 4th best team behind Shelda and Adriana. Misty May and Kerry Walsh and Juliana and Larissa. Switzerland are holding their own here. Straight down the center. Talita with the wide play to the pin, well read. Vergé-Depré just steps round, knows that the set is really tight, and channeling the ball is Taiana Heidrich twice in a row. The persistence for Switzerland really paying dividends here. Heidrich, really good line, always looking through the net at the spike, working away from the body. Taiana Lima. Hitting away from the body is a key concept in this game. The body shows the power line. The defender and the blocker have to respect that. So if you're good going away from the body, you're going to be successful. Vergé-Depré set really tight to the net, but that's something a more physical team can really get away with here. Keeping it tight, going over the hands or around them on that occasion. Heidrich chasing through, trying to make a block, and she makes one. It's not the first time we've seen a really fixed and disciplined line block from Taiana Heidrich. Impressive work. She's serving the shortest line possible, chasing in, but it's very difficult to get a good line and still create pressure on the spiker. Out of system, Heidrich breaking, sitting in the seam. It's a great read again from Vergé-Depré. The transition play, just as good as the blocking in the previous point from Taiana Heidrich. Vergé-Depré, thunderous, physical, working away from the body. Bosh. That's a message. And that's a message from Brazil as well, saying, hey, we need to sit down for a moment. 15-13 in this race to 21. Heidrich, Vergé-Depré looking for their first gold medal as a pairing. Their last silver was in Brazil last year. Talita has won this competition twice with Larissa Franca. 2017 was the last time she won it. And in that year, Brazil won 11 World Tour titles. Larissa and Talita, some record. Chasing in again, Heidrich jumping into the angle this time, but covering the seam is Vergé-Depré. Say about Switzerland, they're so powerful. When they do make a defensive play, they knock it straight back on the floor. What a run of points. Finally, a side out from Talita. 36 years old. Only 2 countries per nation can make the Olympic Games. So much depth from Brazil. It's going to be tough for this team, and it's very tough at the moment. Hand slaps, fist bumps, you name it. Switzerland are bringing it to the table. Showing the angle, body weight going through the ball, the arm staying smooth and pulling through as well. High play, high knuckle. Knuckle coming out of the toolbox when the set is very tight to the net. Brazil's Rebecca and Anna Patricia, currently Brazil's top team, knocked out in the earlier stages of the competition. It's a chance to catch up on some world ranking points again. The pass from Switzerland faltering this time. Better from Heidrich, passing fairly straight. The ball's in the system. It's just steep. And huge. Taiana Heidrich. This Brazilian team didn't qualify for the World Championships either earlier on in the year in Hamburg. But they're back to one here. Caught underneath the ball. Vergé-Depré. Anna Patricia, Rebecca, Agatha Duda. Carol, Maria Antonelli. Teams who played in Hamburg. To find an ace here, though. Business time of this women's gold medal match. They haven't found an ace, but they have plucked a block up from nowhere. Tight setting. It's pretty much fed Heidrich underneath the Brazilian bus here. The bus named Talita. Great blocking from her. We are tied at 18 all, one way and then another. This game keeps on surprising us in Moscow. Home of the European Championships last week. As we have a look at the run of points, look at that. Almost unbelievable. Big sways of points. Side out scoring, almost going out of the window. Passing slightly off the net, but in a great position, Heidrich. Not the first time you've seen that colossal hammer. Massive point in the context of this one. Chance for a set point taken by Heidrich. Vergé-Depré. Their transitional work, world class so far. Set point for Switzerland, very tight. Well recycled from Brazil. Chance for Taiana on the left side. Opportunity, knocking! And they've taken the opening set, looking for their first F5EB World. Some highlights of the opening set here in the gold medal match in Moscow. It's the second time that these two teams have played against each other. Heidrich and Vergé-Depré won in Warsaw just 2 months ago. It's looking good for the Swiss again here. There's a lot more on this game. This time, it's for a gold medal. After the silver medal in Brazil last May, injuries to Taiana Heidrich put the development of this team backwards slightly. But it looks as if They are showing potential here and living up to their promise. Back to the line, first point for Talita. Talita, in your picture, finished 4th in Beijing with Renata Ribeiro, 9th with Maria Antonelli in London, and a 4th with Larissa in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. And that Olympics was the one that she was desperate to win on home sand. So she's going again. Again, tight from Vergé-Depré. Once again, it's tight, but this time it's a little bit more off the net, so it can be elevated over the top of the block. Serving to the inside. Struggling to come back to the angle from that inside position. Talita, but on two, Taiana. I think Vergé-Depré is reading everything back there. So is Taiana. What even is this anymore? I don't know. Another defensive play. Of course, it's a mega rally. Firing on all cylinders. Brazil here. Ace from Talita. And all of a sudden it's Brazil's time to ask some serious questions of the Swiss. Although, there's one thing we did learn in the opening set is both teams are struggling to side out at times. Time out from Switzerland. Feeling the pressure, but although it's early on in the set, they're trying to just slow down the Brazilians and their onslaught. And it is an onslaught here in Moscow. Very different teams with different cultures. Brazil been bouncing the ball around the Copacabana from an early age. It's very much a national sport for Switzerland. It's something that's taken a lot of hard work. There is the current coach of Switzerland, Philipp Gabatulla, former Swiss blocker, assisted by the physio Laura. Moscow's turned into a bit of a library post-timeout. Gone very quite short. On two. You can see it all day long. It's being teed up. Vergé-Depré goes wide of the mark. Point for Switzerland. Shooting the ball around with the knuckle. From the centre this time, serving inside this time. Creating a good angle on the pass for her to really go and chase after. The pass on an angle as a left side, it opens up the angles of the cross court. She hits this one down the seam. Here comes the boom. Frightening start for Brazil. The women's bronze medal match went to 3. It went the way of the USA, Kerry Walsh-Jennings, Brooke Sweat. Heidrich finding some rhythm here. Her brother, a left side blocker. She's a right side blocker. to serve. Brazil will know, with all their experience, they can't afford to get complacent here. It was a very slow start from Switzerland, and they're now starting to find some side-out rhythm, keeping the ball very tight and knuckling over the top. There's a clear pattern of offensive plays. Switzerland previously discussed that they were going to use the second ball attack in the timeout. Has been used once or twice since then, but Brazil leading by 4. Taiana getting some boos from the crowd. No block and no respect for Vergé-Depré. Talita, World Tour best blocker in 2013, not wanting any piece of that. Vergé-Depré will get after it all day, though. Change of service tactic on to Taiana, who's really got that soft shot to the sideline in abundance. Shows the cross court with the body. You have to respect where the body is facing, and it's just brushed away past the block. Heidrich nowhere near it. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be an entertaining 20 minutes or so. Once again, they're breaking, and it's just causing a different picture for Brazil, this, because they're not passing in system. Brazil are backing themselves, playing double defense, thinking that the hard hit won't come, but this is the trump card of Switzerland at times. They're so physical, they can score from anywhere. Talita just smuggling away, finding little bits of joy around the block of Heidrich. Again, diving back into the line as Heidrich, but she's not getting far enough to close that angle off. World Tour Finals, the next big one on the FIVB World Tour. 3 weeks' time, and then straight after that, the Olympic qualification competition. In China. The 2 teams will be given a spot in that one competition. Points here for Switzerland. Heidrich again serving, chasing in, but she's got a long way to come here to try and settle herself and get a good line. Brazil are really targeting Joanna Heidrich here. Over the block, round the block, through the block. They're not hammering much away from the blocker. They're just putting lots of pressure on Heidrich. Now she has to side out as well. The overhand defense retreating from the block. Talita side out for Heidrich and Vergé-Depré. Straight down the line again. Taiana driving in on an angle. This time she tries to chip angle as opposed to that rush to the opposite sideline. She loses her height. She loses her pace. What about this? Switzerland. Back to 2. Good passing from Taiana. And driving through the centre. Joanna Heidrich. This time jumps into the angle and makes a monstrous monster block. Impressive. Taiana is facing that way. That's her power line. That's her comfort. Especially when the ball drops inside her shoulder line, making the move. Joanna Heidrich. Just like that. Switzerland, who were 3 or 4 down, are back to 1. The teams are just taking it in turns to apply a lot of pressure. One team has to take the initiative and has to leave here from Moscow with a gold medal. Will it be Brazil? Or will it be Switzerland? The Russian-Mexican wave in full force. Side out back for Brazil, though. That's a clutchy swing. Once again, the feet darting to the left-hand side of the ball, trying to get the ball inside the hitting window, beating Heidrich to the angle this time. That didn't happen last time out, did it? Heidrich the target. Back to the line. Potentially Brazil breaking a little bit too far to the outside there. Heidrich approaching on a slight diagonal would have always struggled to hit the line from there. Taiana, Talita, very strong again here. Last time Talita won an international competition was a 4-star in Olsztyn 2017 with Larissa Franke. Over the top. Talita this time. It's another tactic being used by the Swiss. Just to drop the ball over the top of Talita. They have the height advantage. It's not a bad decision. Center, back to the line after seeing a couple of plays to the angle. Good thinking from Taiana, just to show the Swiss she can still hit that line from the center. Back to serve. It's caught underneath the ball. It's difficult for the arm to come through from that position. Taiana, who last medalled internationally at the 5-star event Beach Majors in Fort Lauderdale back in March 2018. Scrambling for everything here. This game is starting to give us a lot of entertainment. Vergé-Depré is calm in defense, but now she has to be calm to slot the ball away, but it's wide. What else do we want on a Sunday afternoon? Big rallies, big chases. Vergé-Depré sits in the body line, makes the defense, but then working away from the body, misses the sideline. Shot from Heidrich. As well seen from Taiana. Just a little bit too quick for her. Chance for Switzerland. It's a free ball, completely in rhythm. Put the ball away. All of a sudden, they've started to wriggle their way back into this game. Because they're starting to make transition plays. Timeout for Brazil. This really is the calm before an epic storm here in Moscow for this ladies' gold medal. It's Brazil that leads 16-14. They're 1-0 down, and the initiative maybe just coming back to the Swiss pairing of Vergé-Depré and Joanna Heidrich. Do not go anywhere, because this is going to turn into a little bit of a thriller in a few moments' time.
Вот такой нас ждет потрясающий финал. После финала церемония награждения.
Ich denke, dass es nochmal wichtig ist, dass die Mitschiedsrichter dort, wo der Pass hergeht, damit sie nicht weiss, was passiert.
Brazil have fans in this sport wherever this tour goes. They need all the fans and all the support that they can muster up here at the Luzhniki Stadium as we go into the closing stages of the second set. They do have a side-out play. Desperate to try and score here. It's tight setting. Heidrich should be in the game here. Just battled through. Difference between a 3-point lead and a 1-point lead here is that. Heidrich beaten. That's tight setting as well. Brazil have a chance twice. Tight setting from Heidrich Vergé-Depré. That, in a nutshell, is pressure. And Brazil will take their opportunity all day long. Better passing and setting, but the block is back in the game. Talita, veteran of 3 Olympic Games with the monster block. And just like that, Switzerland have had their chance in the second and they've blown. Brazil back in control. Way off the net now, breaking blocks, more spiking errors. Oh my word, we are going to 3. Multiple set points for Brazil, serving straight down the line. Joanna Heidrich from the right side through this time. Still. 5 more goes for Brazil. Last one, an international event, Heidrich in Sochi with Nadine Zumka. It's another one saved. Is there another turnaround here? It's a very good start, just inside the sideline. Third set point for Brazil. Block. Out. Pressure was certainly building on Brazil, but for one of the most experienced teams on the tour, they bring it back to 1-1. We go to a tie-break set to 15 to see who will be crowned the champions of Moscow. After winning the opening set 21-18, Switzerland to go. The Swiss discussing how important it is to watch the ball from the server's hand in the pass, and also shifting with the feet in the block to adjust the line. Certainly has been Heidrich under some pressure in the block throughout this game. Again, they're going through the block, but this time she is shifting, making good shapes On the turn, breaking Heidrich, but Vergé-Dépré's there. Back to the line, sweeping. If this rally is anything like the rest of this tiebreaker, we are just in for an unbelievable treat here on the FIVB Beach Volleyball World Tour. Heidrich's back in the game in the block. Brazil chasing everything down. Heidrich from the center with the knuckle full stretch dive. Incredible from Taiana. But they're setting everything tight, Switzerland, looking to go over the top. Every rally keeping us on the edge of our seats here in Moscow. It's exactly what the people came to see. Back to the line. It's a really smooth arm. The elbow pulls back, and it means from that position that not only is the ball going to have more control from the arm, but it can also go either way, to the line or to the angle. Once again, the upper body facing the cross court, showing that to the Swiss, and pulling it to the line. Sat in the pocket, pulls out a great dig. Taiana again, 2 in a row. How do you like that, ladies and gentlemen? The third time, the third dig for Brazil. What even is this anymore? What a rally, back on one! Outstanding from Brazil. Multiple digs. Some full stretch, some just sitting in the power line, waiting to make the dig. Seizing the opportunity to go over on one. Timeout Switzerland already. Switzerland won the opener. But since then, it's been very, very tough. Taiana hasn't won a major competition on the FIVB World Tour since 2014 in The Hague. It's going to mean so much to get over the line this time. Staying high off the hands is Heidrich. Good tactic at 6-3 to go over the smaller blocker. It's going to be difficult for Talita to press when the spiker is higher than she is, so she's going to have to start to reach into the airspace of the spiker, sitting around, but it's a great sharp angle. It's not Taiana siding out, it's Talita. They are finding some fantastic rhythm, flowing, great vision, good execution. On the right side, Heidrich, again off the hands. We're seeing this deliberate tactic until Brazil find a way to stop it. Back to the line. What are we watching now? It's a masterclass from Taiana because her body line comes in one way and she's selling a cross-court hit to then brush it back to the line. It's world class, it really is. Point went to the Swiss. I'm not sure why, if that was out, but that one certainly isn't. Service errors celebrated by Switzerland, but as the teams change ends for the second time in this tie-breaker. Nothing between the two teams. There hasn't been the whole way through this match. Who can hold their nerve inside out? Who can hold their nerve behind the service line to find that right balance between risking everything to get a reward? Taiana again comes in facing one way, tries to chop back the other. The pressure in the block is strong from Heidrich. Switzerland just roll into a lead once again. Fourth last week in the European Championships for this team. Now on the World Tour, they're fighting for a goal. Excellent from both sides, it's so tight. Has to go high, Taiana. And then turning in the air, feet inside the ball, twisting it back to the line. Heidrich with an outstanding swing, and Switzerland are leading by 2. Timeout now from Brazil, because they're suffering in there. Heidrich and Vergé-Depré have got the initiative, serving. Heidrich fixing the block nicely from the previous set, something they spoke about in the previous timeout. They're sensing it, Switzerland. They really are, but sensing it is one thing, and sealing the deal is another. Can Switzerland hold their nerve here to win their first ever FIVB 4-star event together? Timeout proves to be a good one. Vergé-Depré goes out the back. Taiana, can't believe it's been since 2014 since she's won a gold. Taiana parks in a fabulous position there on the body line. She just sits around really late on Heidrich. Fortunately, the execution of the defensive play goes out. Still just a 2-point gap. Volleyball fans in Switzerland will be feeling slightly nervous watching this, as Heidrich and Vergé-Depré have just missed 2 serves in a row. If there's anything that lets you know that there's a bit of pressure out there, it's 2 missed serves in quick succession. The inside, Heidrich. It's okay if they keep siding out like an absolute dream. Again, hitting back across the body, over the shoulder. Chases on. Out of system, working away. They may have just missed a couple of serves, but when they do find one, they make the transition play. that is Heidrich and Vergé-Depré. Once they make a dig, they're very effective in transition. The pass, faltering from Brazil. Switzerland are now on the verge of taking a victory here in Moscow. Side out, gets one back. The cause has certainly helped. But they need aces. They need a block. And what they get is an error.
Очень, согласитесь, неплохой отрыв для тайбрейка. Давай,
Just kept alive, Switzerland. And now within two. Two errors from the service line have been replaced with service pressure and a little bit of lady luck off the net band as well. Another one! Can you even believe your eyes as Joanna Heidrich hammers two net band aces to give Switzerland match point. They're on the verge of something quite historic, Switzerland. Taiana comes in through the block, but there's a net touch against the Brazilian, and Switzerland take gold in Moscow. It's their first gold medal together in 26 events. Joy for Joanna Heidrich and Anouk Vergé-Depré. For Heidrich, it's a first win on the FIVB World Tour since a win in Sochi in 2016. And for Vergé-Depré, on the right of your screen, it's a first win since the Open in Xiamen the same year. Switzerland, known for lakes, mountains, chocolate, and now beach volleyball. It's been a tough season. Philip Gabatilla and the physio, Laura, making their way to embrace the gold medalists here in Moscow. A year that has been so tough. A 17th in Vienna, a 17th in Espinho, the same in Gstaad, a 9th in the World Championships. Probably their best result, but now it's gold for a Swiss team that have always shown promise. They are now fulfilling their potential, and the celebrations can officially begin. Well, they had their luck off the netband, didn't they, Switzerland? Two netband aces in quick succession. Taiana going through the net, looking for her first win on the World Tour since 2014. As she won in The Hague, and for Talita, the most experienced player of all time. It's heartache as well. The trophy moment presented by Olympic medalist from indoor volleyball, Yuri Berezko, presents the trophy and the certificates for the gold medal. Anouk Vergé-Depré, Joanna Heidrich,